Good morning, everyone. Just want to rewind time a little bit to last night up at the Sports Village and thank all those staff members, students who just brought such joy and spirit to the campus up at that event. We do have lots of guests here this morning in chapel, including many of our board members, and we have some families here and some current parents, so welcome to all of them. The board members have just been over to Samuel House. I remind you, it remains out of bounds, but we've just been in there with hard hats and high-vis jackets and exploring the progress that's going on, and it's incredibly exciting, the development of that house for future grade 8s and Shawnigan Lake School. And of course, Samuel House that we've created in the spirit of Rod and Gaynor Samuel, that they chose the house hymn for the future of Samuel House, which will be Callan Lan, hymn number 11. Let's sing it this morning.
Thank you all. Please be seated. So I'd just like to echo the headmaster's welcome to the parents that we have here and the Board of Governors, and maybe especially the Board of Governors who are also parents. You're very special to us. So one of the things that our current head of school has brought to us is an awareness of the importance of opening our community even more to international students coming to join us and providing even greater diversity perhaps than we've had in the past. And so it's one of the things I know the governors have been celebrating this week. So we're going to celebrate that a bit ourselves this morning. And we're going to start by, I'm going to invite Marina to come up and tell us about a bit about how she got here. Quite an interesting and harrowing story. Marina?
So, Bachai Shawnigan, it means good morning. It looks so gorgeous here. Thank you, Mr. Lemon, for giving the opportunity to share my story with all you today. I arrived in Shawnigan almost 1 year ago today. My journey to get here wasn't easy. It was very long, scary, and sad, but it was worth it. Have the freedom and opportunity I now have today. As many of you know, my name is Marina. I was born, raised in Afghanistan, along with my 4 siblings. I had a great childhood with a loving family. I was fortunate enough to be the first girl in my family to be attended high school. I was excited that my future was going to be bright, and I would have the opportunity to be educated and build a future for myself. Then on August 15, 2021, my country fell under the control of Taliban again. As soon as the Taliban returned to the power, they stripped away girls' and women's rights. I could no longer go to school, work, or even go outside without a man accompanying me. I was a student in grade 12, in the middle of my final exam, dreaming about going to university. When in a moment this was all taken away from me, it was a dark time. After the Taliban gained power, I felt anxious, helpless, depressed, and was constantly afraid. For an instant, if you were found showing even a bit of skin while walking outside of your home, you could get a public beating, or you could be forced to marry a Talib soldier, even if you didn't want it. And if you were caught with books, you could one day vanish and never gonna see again. But despite of all this fear, I didn't give up on my dream of having a future. Thankfully, I had developed a relationship with Friba Rizai, the founder and the executive director of Women Leaders of Tomorrow. Her organization has a tutor to support with my English skills prior to the Taliban taking over. After they gained control, I reached out to Friba to help me find a way to continue my education, but she ended up doing much more. She connected me with Shawnigan. I had my admission interview with Mr. Lamont and Mrs. Samuel on the roof of my house because it's the only place I can get internet access. I remember it was freezing November morning and I could hear gunshot in the distance. As interview was happening, I also remember being worried that Taliban might interrupt my interview and all my hope for an education would die. Thankfully, they didn't catch me. And the end of interview, I was offered a Fulbright scholarship. It was a dream come true. After meeting with Mr. Lamont and Mrs. Samuel, I knew I could trust them and that I was going to be safe at Shawnigan. Exactly. My journey to get to Shawnigan was not too easy. As soon as I got accepted, I snuck across the border of Pakistan all by myself to complete my paperwork in order to get student visa. I waited 3 months in Pakistan receiving my study permit from Canadian government. After 7 months waiting and planning, it's finally time to go to Canada. Saying goodbye to my family was hard. My siblings didn't realize until the day I was leaving that I would be gone for a long time and we didn't know when I would be able to return. But this sacrifice was worth it because not only would it allow me to have a future, but it would also allow them to have one as well. I arrived in Shawnigan in May of last year. I instantly felt like a bird released from its cage. I was free. I feel a great sense of belonging in Shawnigan. People genuinely care about me and want to understand and support me in all parts of my life. My dream have become more real since becoming Shawnigan. I can now see my future, and this all has been made possible thank you to the people to have supported me on this journey. Thank you to Renfrew for being a home for me. Thank you for my host family, the Rourkes, for feeling like a real family. Thank you, Ms. Gell, to take care of me more than I do. Thank you for the staff and students being passionate, always understanding. And thank you, Friba, for helping and work hard. And thank you, Mr. Lamont and Skoll. Skoll, to trusting that I deserve this opportunity. I hope one day that I can give back this community for everything they have given to me. Without the support of everyone in this community, I wouldn't have this opportunity I have today. I especially wouldn't get education, and realistically, I was still in Afghanistan, I would have been forced to marry by now. I'm determined to successfully graduate, and after Shawnigan, I want to study with hopes of one day becoming the first female president of Afghanistan and make my country a better place for women and girls so that they will not have to face the same experience that I experienced. I brought one of the t-shirts that my mom made for me to carry my secret document from the border of Pakistan to find it. I want to show you and see, like, my story is gonna be my experience, and I never thought it's gonna be like this, and people thinking really seriously about it. It's one symbol. Most of girls have the same experience, and then yeah, hopefully my story inspire other people, inspire them to one pen, one book can change the life of a person. And tashakkur as gosh dadan. It means thank you for listening.
Thank you, Marina. It's clear we appreciate your presence among us, and especially appreciated your story this morning. Thank you so much. That was Marina's first time speaking in chapel, and it was wonderful. Thanks. We're going to sing now. We're going to sing Lonsdale's house hymn, How Great Thou Art, number 7. Please stand. Thank you all. Please be seated. So Marina mentioned the very important part that Ms. Rezai played in her coming to Shawnigan, and we have Ms. Rezai here with us this morning. So as Marina mentioned, she's the founder and director of Women Leaders of Tomorrow. She's also one of the first Afghani woman Olympian, and I think she's going to tell us about that as well. So Ms. Rezai.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much, the amazing Shawnigan Lake community, and also thank you so much, Mr. Lamont, for giving me this opportunity to share my story with you today. My name is Freba. I was born and raised in Afghanistan. At the age of 16, I started playing judo, and we were the only 3 girls in the country who played that sport. There were other girls, but they were very young. We were only 3 teenage girls in the entire country. Soon after that, I was selected to join the national judo team in Afghanistan, and later to represent Afghanistan at the 2004 Athens Olympic Games. Afghanistan was getting ready to send a national team and official delegates after the first fall of the Taliban, after a US invasion, and after 9/11. I was honored to represent my country as the first Afghan woman at the Olympic Games in the history of Afghanistan and IOC, International Olympic Committee. My participation brought back Afghanistan to the world sports arena, and it was a sports revolution for Afghan women and girls. Hundreds of other Afghan women and girls joined different sports because they saw that if Freba can do it, if I can do it, so can they. And it was a sports revolution and opened the door for other Afghan women. To me and the other women, it was beyond the sports. It was our right to practice. It brought visibility to gender equality and to human rights. Sports gave me a guide to lead my life and to be able to distinguish between bad and good, and it was also quite fun. Every athlete became a symbol of peace, prosperity, and role model in the Afghan society. Joining sports was the best decision I ever made in my life. It made me, because it gave me the power, identity, and purpose in life. I also learned how to balance in life. Afghanistan has so far sent only 5 female athletes to the Olympic Games in the history of IOC and Afghanistan. I am one of them, and I'm also the first one to represent Afghanistan in a combat sport into the present day. I am determined to continue my work to empower the young generation of Afghanistan through education and sports and to contribute to the world. I tell everyone to keep dreaming and pursue them. Believe in yourself. Believe in yourself and find your full potentials. Thank you, Shawnigan community, for this amazing opportunity, and thank you so much for listening to me today. Thank you.
Thank you for being with us, Freba, and for speaking so beautifully this morning. Thank you. And we hope you'll be back with us sometime in the future. So now we'll have a musical presentation. I'm going to let the band introduce themselves, and I'll let them come up now.
Hi everyone, this is Band-Aid, and today we will be performing Beggin' by Måneskin. Thank you. Please enjoy. Put your loving hand out, baby, 'cause I'm begging. I'm begging, begging you So put your loving hand out, baby. I'm begging, begging you. So put your loving hand out, darling. Riding high when I was king, I played it hard and fast 'cause I had everything. Walked away, but you want me then. But easy come and easy go, and it wouldn't. So anytime I bleed, you let me go. Yeah, anytime I seek, you let me know. Anytime I feed, you let me. My hands, you just let me go. I'm on my knees and I'm begging, 'cause I don't wanna lose you. Hey, yeah, da 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 da. I'm begging, begging you. So put your loving hand out, baby. I'm begging, begging you. So put your loving hand out, darling. I need you to understand. Tried so hard to be your man, the kind of man you want in the end. Only then can I begin to live again. An empty shell used to be. The shadow of my life is hanging over me. A broken man, but I don't know. Even stand the devil's chance to win my soul is doing. What we're chasing, while the bottom, while the basement. While you got good things, don't embrace it. While the feel for the need to replace me. You're the wrong way, track for the good. I wanna paint a picture, tell me where we could be at. Like a heart in the best solution, you could give it away. You had, you took the pay, but I keep walking on, keep opening doors, keep hoping for that the door is yours. Keep posting home, 'cause I don't wanna live in a broken home, and I'm begging. Yeah, yeah, I'm begging, begging you. So put your loving hand out, baby. I'm begging, begging you. So put your loving hand out, darling. I'm fighting hard to hold my own. Just can't make it all alone. I'm holding on, I can't fall back. I'm just a calm, about to fade to black. I'm begging, begging you. So put your loving hands out, baby. I'm begging, begging you. So put your loving hands out, darling. I'm begging, begging you. So put your loving hands out, baby. I'm begging, begging you. So put your loving hands out, darling. I'm begging, begging you. So put your loving hand out, baby. I'm begging, begging you. So put your loving hand out. Thank you.
That was Vandy. Let's hear it one more time for them. They were amazing. Vandy. Oh, yeah. I think the future is bright for you guys. That was amazing. Okay. I think we're going to have prayers now, so we have to just chill out a little bit. So I'm going to invite Georgia to come up and lead us in prayers.
We take a moment to respond, to think about those in need in our families and in the world. Please respond to the bidding, Lord, in your mercy, with hear our prayer. We pray for peace in the world, for those who are oppressed, and for victims of violence. We pray for work in peace in their communities. Lord, in your mercy. For those who are struggling with physical or mental illness, for the homeless, the addicted, the imprisoned, and the poor. Lord, in your mercy. For first responders, emergency room staff, and those who serve by providing healing services of all kinds. Lord, in your mercy. For those who lead in government, education, and business, may they use their power and positions for the good of all. Lord, in your mercy. For Shawnigan Lake School, for the students, parents, staff, and alumni. We especially pray this morning for the grade 12s as they prepare for graduation. Lord, in your mercy. we take a brief moment to consider any other needs in our hearts. Lord, in your mercy,
thank you, Georgia. Just a few comments from me. I hope this is relevant to our celebration today. I've just been thinking a lot lately about this use of the word diversity, how people talk about diversity as if diversity is a value that you can either agree with or not agree with. Well, I'm not for diversity. Well, diversity isn't a value, diversity is reality. That we are a diverse world, we're a diverse nation, and we're a diverse community. So that's the reality. The diversity is not something that's good or bad, it just is. It's talking about not liking diversity is like talking about wanting more pine trees, on campus. But of course, attached to the reality of diversity, there are lots of virtues attached to that, virtues and values. And I just really appreciated what Marina said in terms of her appreciation, because I think that's one of the ways that big-minded people deal with diversity. This is what how the sages deal with diversity, is to celebrate it and to be grateful for it. So I think that we have that capacity to when we talk about celebrating diversity, what we're really talking about is not thinking it's a good thing, but really being grateful for all the beautiful differences that we have in our community. And we're so grateful for those who've come from far away to be part of this kind of diverse, well, you could call it a mosaic or a tapestry. So, and of course, the other part of diversity is, one of the values is, well, to respect everyone for who they are. Well, that's a fairly low value. Of course, we want to respect everyone. But more than that, we want to really support one another on our particular paths and journeys, because we're all different. We're all on a different path. And so one of the things about community, one of the really powerful things, is a place where we can support each other on finding our way, finding who we are, finding ourselves. And in that way, we become better, the community becomes stronger. And I just feel like, for me, Shawnigan is about the diversity. It's what I love about it. It's what has always held me here, is being in a community that's such an international community, such a community of kindness and compassion. So again, thank you for all the things that you do. And a quick shout out. Last Wednesday, we celebrated Pride. We talked about Pride Month, and Daylin talked about the fact that, yes, the school has really come a long way, and that's partly the result of people's openness. Certainly the head of school is someone who's very open. But I just wanted a little shout out to the people that have really made the changes happen in a fundamental way, and that's, of course, Miss Gemma Atkins and Miss Erica Hamilton. They work tirelessly. It's not part of their job. It's just a passion for them. And between the two of them, they do this so beautifully, so gently, in such a compassionate way. So I would like to recognize them this morning for all the work that they do. So I know everyone's feeling really busy and really overwhelmed, so hang in there. Really try to enjoy every moment, especially the grade 12s. Really try to enjoy these last few weeks, and I know you will. And we're going to end with the school hymn, hymn number 1, A Voice in the Wilderness. Please stand.
Thank you, Rev, for putting together such a beautiful service. We just have a little coda to this chapel service that we are going to announce the prefects for next year. For those of you who don't know the process, it's an incredibly rigorous process. We had, I think, something like 55 applicants. Students have a voice as you have a vote. People who want to be prefects in grade 11 have to write letters of application. There's an interview with a member of staff and a current prefect, and good training for life. And we have narrowed it down in an incredibly strong grade group to a selection of prefects. But I do want to say to those of you who set your heart on this and didn't quite make it, that's absolutely fine. And you might be disappointed this morning, you might still be a little bit disappointed tomorrow, but by Monday, it will have passed you by. There are so many opportunities in grade 12 for leadership. I know MCB has asked the house directors to separate prefect and head of house to share around the leadership opportunities for our student body. And of course, being a prefect or not doesn't define who you are. I don't think I've ever revealed this before, but I certainly wasn't a prefect at school. And I wonder which adults would be honest with us and tell us that they weren't a prefect. I wasn't even a house captain. In fact, again, a reveal moment, my nickname with my grade group was that I was the defect rather than the prefect. And I went to a wedding about 10 years ago, and one of my friends came up and said, "Larry, I've been thinking about you are the most improbable headmaster there is. How could you possibly have gone from that at grade 12, being the only one of us who wasn't even a house captain?" So for any of you thinking, damn, I didn't quite do it, you will have your moment in time. So I'm going to invite up the current prefects. I wish I hadn't told you that now. You can see I've just hatched a new nickname. I'm going to invite up the current prefects, and they're going to stand here. MCB, you might want to do something with the microphones. But we're going to invite the current prefects up, and this is a tradition at the school, that they will hold a tie each. There's slightly more prefects than the current grade 12s, so, and I'm going to... No, we're going to carry on standing. And the one piece, they've been in to see me this morning in my office, and each one of the people I'm going to invite up, and I'm going to ask you not to applause individually by house, but just wait till they all come up and we'll give you the signal. But this is over the 105-year history of the school that prefects have put their names. There are probably some alumni here in the front rows who were once prefects once upon a time, but their name is in archives and they have signed a book similar to this. And in this current edition, it not only says the school motto. Kyan, what is the school motto? Do it louder. And here it says, "We are committed to making a difference to the lives of others at Shawnigan. We shall, to the best of our abilities, engage in the little, unremembered acts of kindness and selfless work of leadership." And I think we'll all agree our prefects and our heads of school have done a tremendous job this year leading our community, and I'd love to hear a round of applause for them. And in no particular order, I'm going to invite the next wave of Shawnigan prefects. Georgia Brown, Moose Brown, come on up and find someone opposite to stand. Mike Guo, Joseph Jacobek, Sophia Jacobek, Aidan Jones, Ava Klassen, Keegan Lonsdale, Jackson Palmer, Zach Pollitt. Stay opposite. You can stay opposite. MCB, do you want to just coordinate how this is going? Ella Rush, Grace Shepherd, Audrey Sang, Grace Swang, Grant Nuzo, and Kanya Mangena Jelama. Arden, how would you like to take a photo of the whole team? Pardon? Okay, current grade 12s, hand your ties over to someone and glide away. Well done, guys. And finally, thank you, Marina, wherever you are, for showing such courage to come and join our community at Shawnigan. Freba, thank you for the courage you have displayed, and you're incredibly modest. You didn't tell our community that you continue to support female Afghans in life beyond Afghanistan and life within. And I know that Freba organized for the Afghan soccer team to make it out to Australia. She also persuaded UBC to take 10 female Afghan postgraduate engineers as part of their support to education. And those are just some examples of the work she does to support education for Afghan females. And it's such a privilege to have you here, and thank you most of all for introducing us to Marina. We also have Tahira here, who Marina is a friend of Marina's, but also Freba placed Tahira at Crofton House, many of you know, in Vancouver, with another Afghan student, and it's great to see other schools in BC following Shawnigan's lead and opening their doors up to students who do not have the privilege nor the access to education. And great, Eric, I know you're a great supporter, Freba's husband, of the organization as well, and great to have you in the front row. So to finish, before the organ starts up, or as the organ starts up, I'm going to invite Marina to lead out her Afghan community out of our chapel and to be followed by our board members, alumni, and other guests. And let's stand as they leave the chapel in silence, please. Yes.